The third day of our Nile cruise began with an early morning crossing of the Esna Lock, followed by a visit to the Temple of Hatshepsut. There are two barrages on the Nile River at Esna. As a result, there is an 8-meter difference in the water level, with the level being higher on the Aswan side. The lock system has been constructed to help river vessels to negotiate this gradient. As we were going from higher to lower level, the gates were opened. Our vessel entered the lock. The upper gates were closed. The water level in the lock was lowered. The lower gates were opened. And we exited and sailed towards Luxor. While the reconstructed building is of course beautiful, however, to truly understand the reasons behind the construction of this temple and gauge its administrative and political significance, it is important to understand the family circumstances of Queen Hatshepsut herself. She was the daughter of Pharaoh Thutmosis I and his chief wife, but being a female, she could not inherit the throne. The pharaoh had a son with one of his lesser wives, and this son was declared the heir. Following royal Egyptian tradition, she married the heir, who was also her half-brother. They had a daughter, Neferu Ra, who again being a female was not eligible to inherit the throne. Meanwhile, Thutmosis II, her husband, had a son with one of his lesser wives, and this son was declared the heir. The pharaoh unfortunately died early, while his heir Thutmosis III was still an infant. Hatshepsut took over as regent for her stepson, who was also her nephew. A few years after becoming regent, for reasons that are not clear, she declared herself to be the pharaoh. While earlier this was attributed to ambition, current theory suggests an outside threat to the throne may have led to this step being taken. She eventually turned out to be an accomplished ruler, but before that she had to take steps to prove that she herself had a rightful claim to the throne. To this end, she built an impressive temple dedicated to the powerful sun god Amun, and in this temple reliefs were carved claiming her divine birth as the daughter of Amun himself. Incense trees from the land of Punt were planted in the temple gardens, the first recorded transplantation of foreign trees.
But actually he was interested to send commercial missions to different countries. All the scenes here talking about her most famous commercial mission to the land of Bond or Somalia nowadays on the Red Sea. You can see the Egyptian soldiers in a line. They're holding the tools, the weapons, going to the land of Bond or Somalia. The first one in the line was the longer dress. His name is Nehsi. He's the chief of the land of Bond or Somalia. But he is raising his hand, his welcome the Egyptian mission. Their houses in the shape of domes, built on pillars. You can see some of the coconut trees. You will see some scenes and the figures. You will not see it anywhere else, just here in Hatshepsut temple. The first time to see cows here, donkey. This side you can see the fish on the Red Sea. You see the fish to this side. You can see the Egyptian boats on the Red Sea. To the left side you can see a couple of the Egyptian soldiers carrying some baskets with some trees going to the Egyptian boats. God Amun-Ra, father of the gods or the god of the gods. You can see God Amun-Ra sitting on his throne. In front of him, the offering table, you can see different offerings, not just of alabaster, just of essence, lotus, papyrus, geese, ducks. To this side, one day, used to have the figure of Queen Hatshepsut, but unfortunately has defaced by King Thutmosis III. You can see God Anubis, the black jackal god. He's a god of mummification. God of mummification and the guard of the tombs. You see God Anubis in a full shape of black jackal, or sometimes in a human body with the head of a jackal. If you look at the ceiling, you can see the blue sky, you can see yellow stars. Then below the ceiling, you can see the copper snake. You see the snake? The snake shows both goddess Wa, goddess of the north. You see that the snakes in the tombs and the temples for protection. The snake watching the tombs and the temples.